Not really sure. So we have another game. Just so you guys know, on my format, I always review each game, do some playthroughs. So you can just jump to like the second part of this video. I'll try to time tag it if I can remember. If you want me to review any of your games, I can do that as well. Oh, that's strange. I think I'm just going to connect here. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Actually, no, that wasn't a good move. Shoot, messed that up. It's an interesting, that was not the play I expected, obviously. Definitely not the play I expected. I think I just do that. If he cuts, I might have a problem. If he does that... I have to Hane, though. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. If I do this, I don't think I have the ladder here. So that's problematic. Here, I'm not really sure. I think I have the ladder. No, I don't, actually. Also, if he does that, it's problematic for me, so I have to do this, I guess. Just let him have those two. That doesn't really matter. Well then. This is also kind of problematic. Now it back, it disconnects. Can't really do much there. Now I have the ladder here. Can't do that, because then he'll do that. Huh, what do I do here? It's a very good question. Charge, peep. Guess that's fine. Huh. Can't go over here. So I have to do this. So it's a very, very early fight. There's absolutely no way I'm falling for that. I think I just connect up here.
You have won.
Okay, he resigned. Yeah, I think I would have just done this. Yeah, I definitely would have just done this. Basically, he connects. I'm going to connect here if nothing else actually happens. So if I do this, like, there's all kinds of like crap here that I don't want to deal with. I actually think it's, yeah, this is fine. But I mean, there's all kinds of stuff there that I don't want to deal with. If I do this, obviously there's this. So there's all kinds of like stuff there. But you know, so you either do this or you just connect. I think that's actually the best move because he can't really live here regardless of what. So he basically just died here. So this was a pretty interesting, it was a very short game, but it was very, very interesting. I don't know why they keep giving me black against 1Q because I'm 1 Dan on here. I guess they want me to move up to 2 Dan. So I've never run into this situation before. Like, I'm not exactly sure what I should do here. I think this move is the one that I should do. And then obviously the guide is here. Yeah, I think, and then like black's obviously ahead here because white didn't get this. Like, these are moves that I generally would never actually do myself because I wouldn't be able to think about this. And obviously this shape I like better for black. These two are completely sacrificable. You get a little bit here, you get a little bit here, he has a little bit here, but this is definitely better for black because he broke his kind of like Moyo thing here, I would guess. Actually, like, realistically on this, you know, like, after black does this, white should probably just do this. Just get your corner, and then black has Sente, so I'm not a fan. Like, if I was doing, like, a handicap game, I might do this. Black also has the option to do something like this and begin a fight here. Which doesn't, I mean, like, this is actually okay, I guess. Or like, you could possibly come out here and maybe do this. So, like, there's plenty of options on this transformation, but realistically, like at me as black, I'm just gonna take the shape, and then you can probably just take the corner here and like, give me sente on stuff like this. So that was just like a weird. That was just basically like a weird corner kind of play there, and this is not something I run into a lot. Definitely not something I run into a lot. Of course, like, this is just a fight. Like, I was wondering what I would do if he actually did this, because I get, well, I mean, he's dead here, but so I guess he can't do that. Yeah, I mean, like, this puts white in a bad position, honestly. I guess he could just jump here, and then if I jump here, he could come down, and that would actually cause me a lot of trouble, because he's actually ahead by 1 here, and I can't really do anything. I mean, if he just does this, I jump out here. So that's actually kind of problematic. And the thing is, like, if he does, if he does that now, and I have to cut there, then he lumps down here. So I guess if he jumps, I would probably have to do this, but then he can fly down, and I would have, quite a bit of trouble with this, because this is not a good position for black. So I'm not exactly sure what I would have done if he actually just jumped up, because like I said, I think I might have done that. Well, I guess this would have been troublesome for him, but he can just come out this way. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would have been, but then he can just come out this way. So I don't know, because this like is white's win. Although I would get this up here, which is pretty big, but that would definitely be white's win. So I think like he kind of like missed on this opportunity, like this move, because like I said, I don't know what I would have done on this move. Maybe something like this, but even that's kind of like sketch, I mean, this move is so bad, for white against black. So I don't think I actually played this right. Let me actually just bust out KataGo and see where I should have played. Oh, by the way, this is actually how you would use KataGo, to tell you like kind of like what the best move is. And if you're like, I'm only interested in the local position on KataGo, so let me actually just take it back to the beginning. I do this a lot with my. This is Kata Train. I do this actually a lot to see like where I should have played in situations that I don't really know how I should have played. So you just play it out. The actual position it tells you to play is the optimal position. So like the optimal position for black to play is actually the 3-3 invasion from here. And that's how it would actually play out. So this is how you use kata, but like realistically, like whether I go here is kind of irrelevant. It'll tell you like how you go to analyze, and it'll tell you how many points you lost. So essentially like white's winning by 0.3 right now, and black has not lost any points. But moving here, you can see that white lost 7 points. So the optimal move for me is actually here, but I don't know that, so I play here. But I didn't really lose any points there. So then he plays here. So the optimal move is playing there. I would have probably played here, lost like 0.1 points, but he plays here, which is very kind of strange. Obviously, like you can see, like the best move is the one I made. I Hane up because anyone would Hane up at this point. And but he double Hanes, which is very, very strange. Not exactly sure what I should have done. So I definitely should have played here, as we said. But I decided to connect, which is obviously a bad move because I lost 3 points there. Now he's up by 1. White extends out. He extends out. I did actually disconnect here. And as you can see, I disconnect here. He should have just gone over. And as you can see, the playthrough here, he does this, and he gets a lot of influence on the outside, and I get this little dumpling shape, which is obviously not good for me. But he actually connects, which this actually makes him lose like 1.6 points. Obviously, I make the right move here because this is the obvious move, you extend out. So now my guess is like, what if I play this? So yeah, like the optimal play is like here, not up here, by the way. So you would do this. and black would actually sacrifice this for outside influence. See, like, the thing about like when you see Kata do this, when you actually see KataGo do this, like you're like, well, I would never do that because that gives white too many points. But the thing is, like, for KataGo, like, building the outside is pretty important because Kata knows how to use the influence. And plus, getting the one stone on the outside is really, really big. This is not really something I would like to play, and I really wouldn't want to play it. So, I really, really wouldn't want to play it. So, like, to me, this would be a really big loss because of big loss of territory. If you play this out, it'll probably be, like, white plus, like, 1 point or something, but to me, it'd be a lot worse. So, the thing is, I know a lot of OGS people actually like try to mimic KataGo's moves, but in a situation like this, if you're black, especially if you're lower ranked, you honestly wouldn't do it because you don't really know how to take advantage of. You really don't know how to take advantage of the influence that Kata does. Like this, capturing this 1 point out here is really, really big, but like me, I wouldn't know how to use it nearly as much as KataGo. I could use it to get some points, sure, but to me, like, I would much, much rather be in white's position after this sequence plays out. So, luckily, he didn't do that, because I would have had to make some big decisions there. Luckily, he did not do that. And he made a mistake in playing. And he actually played down here. Now, I was actually afraid of him playing up here. Like, if he actually plays down here, like I said, like, if he actually plays down here, like, oh, he's like, oh, never mind. Yeah, that actually works. And black actually wins this, but this is not good for black. This is like pretty decent for black, but you have these 3 stones really, basically. You have these stones really, really weak out here. So this is how Kata would actually do it. This is definitely how KataGo would actually do it. Black gets the 3 stones and some territory here, and then white does this. And right now, black would be ahead by 1.6 points on the board. But realistically, that's not all that much, and it's easily pull backable. I would prefer black over here, but white does get some territory here, and they have a lot of influence in attacking black here. Of course, this group isn't that strong either. So that's how it should have actually played out. And by the way, this is actually how you're supposed to use Kata, to look at the transformations of where you could go. But a lot of times for KataGo, like I said, like, it'll tell you to play variations that you just don't like, especially if you're weaker, because KataGo values influence a lot. Like, the way Go works is, like, the stronger you are as a player, the more you actually value influence. But, like, since, like, you know, I value influence a lot more than, say, you know, like a 10K player. But KataGo will value it way higher than me. So if I played KataGo style and grabbed the influence as black or white and gave up the territory, I would probably not do as well later in the game. So I think, like, getting the influence is one thing, but knowing, like, what to do with the influence and how to use the influence is another thing altogether. So anyways, let's shut that off. Since this is a short game. That's actually this is a short game. That's actually why I'm doing this. Using KataGo because it's kind of fun. I usually would just review this myself because there's like a lot of mistakes. There's actually a lot of mistakes doing this. So he plays here, and I'm actually supposed to play out here, but I actually play here. And he's actually supposed to come up. But I don't think he does that. He goes down. This is a really bad move because it actually, like, it actually kills this weakness down here. It's a very, very bad move for him. Obviously, Yuhane, because that's the only thing to do. And then he goes up here. And then I'm going to retreat, obviously. Does this. Oh, I should have Hane'd, but I was afraid of this cut. Because, like, if I do this, what if he cuts? Yeah, I'm kind of like, the thing is, like, I don't really want to sacrifice these stones, or at least these 3. But if I sacrifice these 3 here, I might get the corner entirely. So that definitely was probably the right move. It's not one that I would have actually... It's actually not one I would have done myself. Like here, or here. Definitely somewhat problematic for, a little bit problematic for black. A little bit. So, I mean, I guess he could have just double hunted, or if he actually went, well, no, he can't actually go here. So like these cuts I was a little bit afraid of, so I should have hunted. That was the optimal move to make. But I actually decided to extend. And I lost. Well, I'm going to do this first, but I don't think this is a good move because it actually kills this mistake here. But so he's going to connect. But I mean, like, to me, I'm destroying his eye shape. I don't think that's that. I mean, obviously for Kata, it's not that great of a move. So actually, after that, I guess I have to extend because now this doesn't really work since that's actually fixed and this is no longer Atari. So I extend down here. And he jumps out here. He should have actually poked me as well. Of course, like, you know, Kata's plays here, like, this is not something I would do. I would probably fix this. Because this is like Kata thinks on such a high level. It's like he's playing like 4D chess with you. So, to me, I wouldn't have done that. I would have tried to connect this, and that would have probably led to pretty big disaster. But either way, he didn't do that. He actually jumped, which is not a great move. And this is the optimal move actually, but I wanted to fix this, actually wanted to fix this cut, so I jumped as well. And of course he does this, and that's like, basically, I should have jumped down. But to me, like, this is an invitation to fix my territory, so I ended up doing this. So like, I like to, one of my strategies is I play along and try to get territory as I'm attacking, and that's one of the strategies, but like Kata obviously is optimizing, like breaking his territory down here is obviously more important than solidifying my own territory. It's worth more. So he does this, not the 2 jump, but the 1 jump, and I basically play 1 off. You can see like I'm not like really mimicking Kata, but like my sense is a little bit better than his in this game because like I'm playing more moves that Kata would actually play without actually even looking at Kata, obviously. So I do this. I'm obviously going to Hane. I was thinking about this because, you know, I was afraid of his cut, but I was like, nah, it's not really that important. So I Hane, and he does that. That's not a good move. That kind of fixes a couple of my issues. As you can see, you lose 2.7 points here. I should have actually Atari'd here, but I'm going to retreat. You don't block, obviously, and that's actually not a good move either. But he keeps charging. Now, at this point, I'm just like, well, he can have those 2 if he lets me take this one. So, obviously, you know, now I play the move that Kata tells me to play. That Kata says I should play. And I, you know, like, I'm playing more like Kata than he is. So, like, my thought process is just a little bit better than his right now. I didn't want to do this at first because I was afraid he was going to Hane out here. So, he should have actually done this. He connected, obviously, and I, of course, retreated because, I mean, blocking here is dumb because there's so many cuts, and the worst thing you can do by retreating is giving him these 2, and then if you connect this, you're a lot better off than white. So he cuts, which is actually the right move. I make a mistake by retreating this way. I guess I should have just let him have this, but I'm going to go here. It's not too big of a loss, but it is a little bit of a loss. Atari's here. Obviously, I have to connect that because that's too important not to. And what the heck did he do? Oh, he does this. That's a really, really bad move. I also answered the wrong way, but that's a really bad move. I should have actually... okay, no, I actually did the right way. So I did actually answer like this. Because I was calculating this out. I was like, if he takes the 2 and I push, then, you know, he's screwed. So he obviously extends out. And obviously, the obvious move is to connect here, because connecting there doesn't make sense. So you connect there. And then white's actually not supposed to take these 2. He's supposed to actually do this and protect this cut. These 2, they don't rate as that important. But he wants to do this. But see, like, the thing is, like, once you do this, like, look at the winning percentage. This is 76.9, my victory, and now it's like 92.3. So this is a horrible move. You lose a lot of points on that. And then I obviously am going to push. And at this point, like Kata just says, you know, forget this. You lost this fight. Take the corner. And then it tells Black to just basically capture those stones. Of course, he doesn't want to give it up. He does this. Like, each of these is like big losing moves. Obviously, I'm going to push again. As you can see here, what we did in the actual game. Then, you know, you're supposed to just give these up. But he doesn't. He doesn't give those up. But the problem now is that this is now Sente. This is now Sente. So, like, I clap here. And Kata's actually telling this guy, like, you know what? Give these stones up. Make this group alive. And then you can probably kill those 2 stones as well. Of course, if he actually did this, there's no way in heck I would have done this. I would have just taken these stones. And then, like, you know, here, I would have probably just been like, you know what? You can have those 2. I got this. I'm happy. I got all this territory. And I would have just played elsewhere. So, but he didn't do that. He let me curl over. And then, obviously, he wants to kill these 2. And, of course, at this point, I made a bad move. I mean, I didn't make a bad move, but I kind of, like, went over. Right? Like, but this is hard to live this now, you know? He does this, which is also not a very good move. See, like, the thing is, after he does this, I'm not in danger anymore, because I can just, after he does this, like, this is no, after he does this, let's see if he does this, like, this is not a danger anymore, because I actually have the ladder here. So, my group's no longer in danger anymore. Oops. So yeah, he obviously does this, and I'm going to do this. We don't really need Kata anymore for this. So I actually do this. At this point, he's really way behind now. Of course, I'm going to do this. He does that. Tigers, that's a fake eye. I'm going to do this, go down here. I'm actually trying to kill him now, so I'm going to try to kill all his eyes possible. I jump down, he goes under. And I go here. Like, this is already very successful for me because I have a lot of influence over here. And of course, I'm going to do this. This cut doesn't work. And that doesn't work. And then that's kind of like where the game ended. And that's the end of the game because there's basically no way that he is actually going to win against me here. Because, first of all, this is the ladder. And if he tries to connect this, I'm going to fly out this way, and this group is basically dead. And after this group is dead, game over. So that, I hope you learned something. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. And that is how you actually review and get better with Kata Train. Now, for Kata Train, all levels can use it. But I would say, like, if you're, like, 1 or 2, like, at least, like, 2 or 3 Q or above, you get the most out of it, because then at that point you can actually understand kind of like how KataGo is thinking. For Kata Train, what I would actually suggest is, like, if you're actually doing a fighting sequence, pay attention to the moves it recommends around that area, not like moves elsewhere on the board. Kata will always give you the highest value move anywhere on the board, but you may not, like, a lot of times I won't comprehend that. Like, I will just basically look at, like, what moves Kata suggests, like, in that area where I'm actually fighting. And then, like, when I'm looking to, like, on a broad spectrum, like, which is the best move, then I will actually look at what KataGo actually suggests. So that's this game. Hope you liked it. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. My name is ArcBob on OGS. You can always send me a friend invite if you want to. Thank you, and have a nice day.